Guys, welcome back. Good morning. I haven't had like much coffee yet, so it's gonna be what it is. But I am done. It took all of yesterday and about an hour and a half today. Now remember, I'm an adult, so I gotta do adulting things like cook my own meals and stuff. So maybe if I had had stuff like on tap, I could have finished it yesterday. But I also had to do something this morning. I was supposed to have a Geek Squad appointment at like 8 to 12. Well, it's already 9. And he still hasn't called, so I could have slept in, but I didn't know that. So I finished it up. I took an hour and a half today, and I finished it up. The age on it, by the way, is 11 plus. I've never gone by ages. I go by what the reader can handle. And, okay, there might be some spoilers ahead. I'm going to try not to spoil the entire book. It's 11 plus because it gets really dark. If you read the first novel, it's in the first series. It's a lot darker than that. It's like, he's always admitted he's a Harry Potter fan, so there are a lot of Harry Potter elements in this now. It's like pretty clear, he's like reaching and seeing if he can bring it into like this universe. Like, Omen Darkly that they mention on the back cover. He's in a school of magic, so there's like a school of magic now. Yeah, I know. It's kind of like becoming Harry Potter the second. And this book wasn't quite the same as the first series because there's so many new characters that he tried to cram in. I think he went overboard on it. I was actually getting lost and confused because I'm like, wait, who is this? And who is this? I mean, you start to remember some of them because you see them so much. But then they're like cramming in more and more and more. And like people get crammed in and mentioned and then they're never mentioned again because it's supposed to be suspense for like in the 9th novel. Remember that person I mentioned in the first novel? No. And there was a lot of going back to and referring to stuff from the original series. But he did what Derek Landy does and kind of drives me nuts. He'll twist everything around. Like, this book ended, the way this book ended, I will tell you from experience, do not expect the second book to pick up there at all. It will probably not pick up there at all, or it will pick up totally opposite. Like, this book kind of ended on kind of a high note. Kind of a high note. Won't tell you how it ended, but kind of a high note. And don't expect that to carry on to the second book if you're new to the series. And I'm like, Derek, I could kill you. There were, as I mentioned, like LGBTQ, I keep going through the alphabet, characters, and it was good in a way, and some of them were main characters, but it was also, how do I put this? I don't know if Derek would have ever really included them on his own, or he was including because fans were like, "Oi, I'm gay." This really sucks that the only gay characters you have are kind of a joke because he had gay characters before, but it was kind of a running joke that they were gay. It was like, oh, he's in love with another man, ha ha ha, and now suddenly we have the enlightened Derek, and I don't know how to handle that. Derek Landy can be a very offensive writer. If you offend easily, if you're an American and you offend easily over stuff over American, oh my god, don't even pick this series up. You will not survive it. He can be really offensive and he can be borderline racist in some of the way he writes. I mean, it will come across, maybe to Europeans it comes across different, but to Americans it's like, dude, you can't say that. You actually can't say what you just said, and yet he says it anyways. I've never liked that side of his novels. It's kind of like, I guess it's like a metaphor, but still, it's like he's almost encouraging, I don't want to say he's encouraging racism, but it's like, it's blatantly there, like, people from certain countries act certain ways and blah, 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 and that's not true. I mean, there are, like, Americans that would be burning this book right now because you said something bad about America, and I'm obviously not in that camp. So, he's vaguely referred to it in one of the novels, like people shouldn't do that, but then he goes and he does it anyways, and that's kind of like one pet peeve I have with him. Like, people are kind of the stereotypes you would expect from their country. Like, you kind of know what an American's going to act like. You kind of know what a Russian's going to act like. Because we've all seen this on TV and in cartoon shows and everything. So it's a little stereotypical at times. I'm not sure why he does that, because he's a better writer than that. But, other thing I kind of didn't like is that because he was rushing so much stuff into here and working out the plot for the next 8 novels to come, if he's going to make that, or it's just going to be 3 or whatever. There wasn't as much of Skulduggery and Valkyrie. I know they can get lost in the novels, but they really, really got lost in this one. It was like, why are they even in this novel? They could have almost not been in the novel. I mean, what happens between them is super important, but at the same time, they could have almost not been in the novel. It's sometimes you get the idea like Valkyrie is just there because she's the vehicle that carries the books along. And oh man, if he could only come up with a male character that's bright and magical and young and going on magical adventures. So, like, we have that same thing going on, if you remember who Fletcher Wren was. It's like they're going to have, spoiler alert, a possible other partner now, and it's almost looking like Valkyrie's, like, she's there, and yet, is this going to become a story now, these 9 novels, all about the men stepping up, and it's not going to be about a woman anymore because she's a young woman now? Is this Derek trying to keep it like towards children so that he can get in younger readers? Or, well, it's marked towards 11 though. And, or is this like something that is like part of Skulduggery's character or her character now? Because in a lot of ways through this book you'll notice it, Valkyrie kind of has to play Skulduggery's role a lot of the time. So I'm like trying not to give you away too much of the book. It's good. It's a dark read. It's a really, really sad read for a lot of the book because I don't agree with Valkyrie being blamed for everything she's blamed for. I've never agreed with it. There was also some characters brought back. And he mentioned Zorkis. There was some characters brought back that I'm like, please, aren't we done with this? Can't we go on? If you're going to bring in 20 new characters, you also have to drag these old ones back too. And so we can see kind of how the next 8 novels are going to pan out. And I almost don't want to be there for that ride because so much that made the first series great is gone. Like, some of the characters are gone. And the world really sucks right now, and it's ultra-violent, and the Americans are absolutely insane, and the mortals are getting dragged more and more and more into the novel, and it's like, I don't know if I like this. It's kind of turning me off Skulduggery Pleasant. It was a really good book, but I don't think I want 8 more books of that. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I couldn't understand why the first person that I saw a review from, they really didn't like it, but now that I've read it, it's like, it's too much, Derek. It's too much. You had a formula that worked, a magical world where we really didn't have to bother with mortals too much. And now everything is becoming about the mortals. Everything is becoming about all these new characters. And Skulduggery and Valkyrie, at times, you're going to feel like they're window dressings there so that everyone else's story can be told. And that can be a good thing to introduce new characters, but can be a really bad thing if what you're there for is Skulduggery and Valkyrie's interactions. Some people said they saw a ton of Valkyrie in this book, Skulduggery in this book, rather. I didn't see any, unless your definition of Skulduggery is them totally dysfunctioning as partners and not getting along at all. One person said, oh, they tell each other they love each other so much, and I'm like, where? I mean, I could see how you could read it into some passages, but I wasn't feeling it. It was like, no, this is not the novel where Skulduggery becomes a thing in the Skulduggery universe, so, sorry. it's always going to be that thing that you're never going to see. It's not going to matter if she gets to be 80. He's going to be in his 500s by then, and Derek's never going to cross that line because people will be saying too many things. So, I don't know. I'm glad I got it. I'm glad I read it, but at the same time, it's sort of a beautiful story, but I don't know if I want to go down this road again of all these characters being brought in and all the characters we loved are pretty much gone. And we have to bond with these, bond with these new characters, and I don't know that I'm ready for that. I don't know if I want 8 more books of that, because in the first go round, that was all we had, you know, and he could introduce as many people as he wanted, but now it's like, any of the people that are left in this book are from the first go round, other than Skulduggery and Valkyrie. They're kind of not worth knowing. So you know which characters I don't like. But yeah, it's like, excuse me. Some characters were named and they were never brought into the novel, which was disappointing. And I guess it's like setting the work for novels to come, but it's like it's disappointing. It was so disappointing. There were so many people you wanted to see back, and they only vaguely got mentioned. And it's like, well, I really didn't sign up for this. I knew it would be a new series. I knew there'd be new characters, but at the same time, I'm really disappointed we didn't get to see more continuity from the first set of novels. So if you guys like what you see, like, comment, subscribe. I'm not crying, it's my allergies this morning. And I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.